It's the first edition of the Enugu Economic Summit, Organiru 2016. For the next 2 days, delegates will brainstorm on the theme Beyond Oil, Fostering Inclusive Economic Growth and Sustainable Development. Welcome to the coast city, Southeast Nigeria. I'm Esther Awuni. Organiru means progress. According to the Director General of the Enugu Economic Summit, Ike Chioke, the aim of the summit is to invite investors to be partners in progress with the state.
We believe that the objectives can never be achieved solely by state government due to dwindling resources available to it, especially in the light of the declining crude oil prices. Hence, the state is willing and prepared to partner with competent, credible, willing investors in the private sector to bring fruition to its desires across these 10 sectors. Please do not get us wrong. This is not one of those government calls for privatization sector participation. The government and the people of Enugu State are adequately prepared for this partnership. Indeed, even the hosting of this event is a clear example of public-private partnership.
Some delegates believe the Enugu Investment Summit is significant because the need to diversify the state's revenue is crucial in the face of declining monthly fiscal disbursements from the federal government.
We need diversification of internally generated revenue sources in the state and the country for that matter. So the state took the bull by the horn to organize this and get started by bringing investors in. So it's a critical measure undertaken by the state. It's going to think and look at itself as an investment destination, which means that what you need to do in terms of taxation, in terms of incentives, should be done by the state. Enugu is no longer holding what it shouldn't hold. You know, like, say, land. If you have land and you're just, the land is just there, you're wasting a very valuable resource.
It lacks an economic driver, an economic engine. And that is really what this summit is all about. The summit has brought the private sector and the public sector together to begin to look at ways to create that economic process, to bring jobs, to bring skills, and to translate it into real value.
Offer up the land for development, that you have industries that are moribund, that you need to have these industries either resuscitated or turned into something else. You have opportunity to create infrastructure that will make it possible for small, medium-scale and large industries to come into existence. That's what Enugu State is saying, that it's going to think and look at itself as an investment destination, which means that what you need to do in terms of taxation, in terms of incentives, should be done by the state, or will now be available in the state. Tax rebate is one, whereby you can have tax holiday for a period for investment if you come to invest here. Because sometimes people may look at the state losing revenue by giving tax holiday, but actually you're creating jobs within the environment, and further down the line, the industry will begin to pay taxes.
I think it's a major statement from the governor and the government of Enugu State that they are ready to do things differently. They are ready to bring about some kind of development, that should be comprehensive. They are ready now to address aggressively the issue of unemployment, which in itself is part of the driving force, on issues of insecurity. So because once you have an economy that is working, if you have a state that has a number of industries and enterprise, the implication therefore is that a lot of people will have employment, and when that happens, it means that the rate of crime will go down, So it is important for us to ensure that jobs are provided to our teeming population. We ensure that there is food security, to ensure that the people who are leaving school will have a hope for the future.
Agribusiness investment is on the rise in Enugu State. To attract more investors, the state is reviewing its policy on land acquisition. The president of the Real Estate Development Association of Nigeria, Ugo Chime, shares his view.
Under our present Land Use Act, the land administration is within the concurrent list, which allows every of these 37 component states in Nigeria, the 36 states and FCD, Federal Capital Authority, which is governed by the federal government, to make laws on how they administer land. This is significant because every development is on land. When you talk of real estate, you have residential real estate, you have commercial real estate, you have industrial real estate, you have tourism real estate. Every activity or development you're going to do is on land. Therefore, who controls the land controls how you do those developments, even mining. So what we are saying is that for a state government that recognizes this primary role they have to play in jumpstarting the socio-economic development of the given state, Enugu State in this instance, it's willing to change the enabling laws, willing to change the enabling land transaction dynamics.
The Enugu State government says the Beyond Oil mantra will not be a rhetoric and is willing to walk the talk. Measures have been taken to ensure potential investors have easy access to information on the state.
We are open to now deal in a very realistic and constructive way with serious investors. You know, there are people that come to prospect. Some of the questions that you would have come to the office ask is already there if you participated in this summit. A number of the outcomes will be uploaded in the site where you can go also and read and download for yourself. But what is important is that as a Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, we are primarily charged with regulation and the driving business and commercial activities in the state, which of course is all about investment. So in any facet of the economy that you're interested in coming, if there are things we can do to facilitate, and most times we can, use, interfacing with the various direct ministries involved. Our job is to bring it together. If it's land that you're looking for, we will know how to, sieve out the serious investors and how to package your inquiries and your attempts in a way that will get you the result that you want. If it is information in education, we're there. If it's data that you need, if it's also even some of these, it's also investment incentives in maybe it's in tax waivers, maybe it's in some letters of some comfort that you need, to the extent that you need enhancement even in the credit request that you make to the commercial lenders. The state is ready for that.
My message to investors is to come into Enugu with a free mind. His Excellency the Governor is a very humble man. He's accessible. If you have a good business, he would listen to you. The State Executive Council is packed full of commissioners who take responsibilities of their ministries and who make things a lot easier for investors to do business in Enugu State. We have a one-stop shop where you could get all the information you need about Enugu State. We have been able to merge the federal, state, and local government taxation together in the state to make it a lot easier for investors to work. We have also tried to give tax holidays to investors for the first few months when they start business, so at least they could stabilize before things begin to work for them.
A key highlight of the summit is the announcement made by the chairman of Air Peace, Alan Onyema.
Ladies and gentlemen, the federal government has just made Air Peace a flag carrier for the country. They've given us 5 countries to fly to. They gave us India, Mumbai, India. They gave us Dubai, UAE. They gave us Johannesburg, South Africa. They gave us Atlanta, United States. And most importantly, because of our people, most importantly, the one that is most dear to my heart, because of our people's industry, we went to trading, we went to business. They gave me Guangzhou, China. Your Excellency, I'm happy to inform you that Air Peace will be starting with the China flight in the next coming months. Enugu State has been chosen. We are going to make Enugu State a hub. Let investors start coming. Whether you're from the north, there's no other airline in Central Africa, in West Africa, in Nigeria that does direct flight to China.
Some delegates attending the summit speak on some of the key takeaways from the event. Others express keen interest to invest.
But they need to take it a step further. So the discussions around agriculture, what is possible. They have cashew nuts here, and they need to see how they move from subsistent agriculture to really doing agriculture as a business, and then going through everything in the value chain of agriculture. Also, I think I like the discussion around about real estate. The state is opening up. I remember that some of the places I see now, when I was growing up here, were inhabitable. But they've expanded the town, the Enugu town, and now they plan to do the same thing going east. And I think that people should take opportunity and in that expansion process. Enugu has always been a civil servant town, as we call it. But I think it's time that businesses, especially for those who are from Enugu, those who know about business, I like the discussion around the mall. Seeing that the person who actually built the mall is not even from here, but it was a business venture, it's been done, and it's working. So it gives opportunity to other people to come and do the same thing.
Look around of this city and these towns, I think, because in our experience, we have our resource for the energy power investment, and the power is not so enough in this town. So that is our future planning to do the clean power energy stations, just like wind power, hydropower, and solar energy power. That is for our just in future planning of our companies here.
Investment in the small-scale industries is the only way out at this time. But it can only work if government begin to provide necessary infrastructure, which is energy. Without electricity, all those talks cannot come to light. I'm willing to bring my factory in Enugu here, because there's a huge market. They will have a lot of schools in the eastern region. So I don't mind to produce biro for all the schools in the eastern region.
I can tell you, if you are not moving on, Enugu is leaving you behind.
Agriculture, solid minerals, manufacturing, and transport are just some of the key areas of investment opportunities. The Enugu State government is hoping to attract much-needed investment and return to the days when the state didn't have to rely on monthly cash disbursements from the federal government. The state has put together an economic blueprint to help it achieve this objective. The summit will be an annual event to reposition Enugu to meet the challenges of the 21st century. That's a wrap on the first edition of the Enugu Economic Summit, Organiru 2016. I'm Esther Awuni. Bye for now.